Alright, so here's a quick review on layers, which is for the assignment today. We pretty much already know everything we need to know about layers, but I just want to go into a little bit more detail on exactly what layers are and how we can work with multiple layers. So the way I like to have my CAD arranged, and this is pretty close to just the default format here, is we have our layers up here and properties inspector down here. If you're using this on a Windows computer, there will be a Windows version of the tutorial underneath this video, so you should be able to follow along that as well. So we already know that we typically draw in our object layer, so I'm just going to start with a point here in my center, and that's going to be red in our object layer. And now we also know about our dim layer here, so I'm just going to say that this is turned on here. We're just going to draw a little circle here in that layer. And then I think we also may have played with the center layer. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Say I'm going to draw a line here dissecting this circle. So I've got this line right here, and I'm going to put this in my center layer. So once you've already drawn an object and you want to put it in your center layer, you can click on it. You can click on multiple objects, and then you simply hit dim and click on whatever layer you want to put it in. So I'm going to put it in my center layer here, and I'll hit escape. Now, one thing to notice is if I draw something, so let's say I draw a rectangle here, and this rectangle is our dim layer, and I realize, oh, I want to put that in my object layer. I can click on that, go up here, click on object. It's now in my object layer, but because I wasn't already in my object layer when I first drew it, when I go to draw another object, that's going to go back to my original layer, which was our dim layer, rather. So just to go over that again, I have an object in my dim layer. I click on it. I'm going to move it to, say, my hidden layer. So now we can see it's in our hidden layer. I'm going to go and draw another object. And even though I was just in my hidden layer, because I moved this in my hidden layer, because it wasn't my original layer I was drawing in, this is now back to my original layer, which was my dim layer. You probably saw that I was toggling this hide layer list back and forth. Kind of our default setting is just to see our layers like this, but you can show layer list, which is going to give you a more detailed list of layers along with a little bit more information about each one. And when you click on a layer in Mac here, you click on it, and then when you go down to the Properties Inspector, if you click on Layer Properties, it'll actually tell you about the layer. So we're currently in our dim layer. The layer is currently on, meaning that it's visible. We can see it. These two things will skip the moment. This is the color of the layer. So we can see here I have my two objects in my dim layer that are blue. Say I want to change those to yellow. All I need to do is click on that, and it's going to change all the objects in that layer to a different color. Underneath that is line type. So for our example, our center line was in a center line type. But if I want to change my, change my circles here to a dashed line, dash 2. Now you can see it's drawn kind of this cool little dash here. So that's our line type. And then underneath that is line weight. This is how thick it is. So say we go to 2 meters. And I see that did not draw correctly, so I'm just going to do my regen command. And there we go. It's redrawn. So you can see we have our line. I changed the line thickness of our layers, and it's changed everything in that layer to that thickness. Transparency is how visible it is, so I can make this more or less transparent, meaning we can see through it. So we can see here, I can kind of see a bit of my background. Plot is whether or not it shows up when you print, and that's pretty much all we need to know. So that's layers in a nutshell. Enjoy.